As I see it, there are four elements that make up the classical music instrumental training process. Focus on the fundamentals, the private lesson, music camp, and conservatory. Let's talk about each. 1. Focus on the fundamentals. The foundation and number one priority of classical music instrumental training is not personal expression or musical interpretation. It's technical command. It's about the fundamentals, the craft of playing your particular instrument. Can you play high enough? Can you play loud enough? Can you play fast enough? Are you able to make the trumpet or the piano or the viola do and sound exactly the way you want it to, exactly the way the music requires? Artistic expression comes later. You can't truly be artistically expressive on an instrument if you don't have technical command of that instrument. It doesn't matter what you're trying to express with the violin if your audience is constantly being distracted by your ugly, scratchy violin sound. As a result, the life of a classical music instrumentalist is about constant training of the fundamentals. It is never ending. Sound production, articulation, that's clarity of sound across notes, coordination, getting all the parts of the body working together properly, intonation, accuracy of pitch, on and on. It is a daunting and extreme discipline. 2. The private lesson. If you could be a fly on the wall in a room full of music students, you would hear over and over phrases like, I'm going to my lesson. I've got to practice for my lesson. This week I learned in my lesson. I had 3 lessons this week. I'm getting ready for my recital. The private lesson is where all the fundamentals I mentioned earlier are taught, learned, and mastered. On a regular basis, usually once a week, but it could be more, a student meets one-on-one with their teacher, a person who is either a master performer themselves or is a master at teaching others how to be master performers. The private lesson, or more precisely, the teacher-student relationship, is the foundation and format for the transfer of musical knowledge. It is where and how the work happens. And this teacher is way more than just the person showing you how to play your instrument. They serve as mentor, psychologist, confidant, cheerleader, disciplinarian, standard bearer, and even surrogate parent in some cases, all rolled up into one person. And a student is usually studying with the same teacher for years, so the bonds can grow very deep. The private lesson is where the classical musician is built. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button below and subscribe and share this video with a couple good friends. Okay, back to the video. 3. Music camp. As I said, classical music training is never ending. And isn't that the reality for anyone developing any kind of skill? If you're a wide receiver in the NFL, you've probably caught tens of thousands of passes over the years. Yet every week, in between games, you're on some practice field somewhere, running routes and catching passes. You must continue to train constantly in order to maintain and further your mastery. Music camp offers continuing training when you're on break from normal training, usually when school is out. Music camp is like regular camp, but with a musical focus. It offers intensives in a particular area of training, like orchestral playing or chamber music. Students and master teachers come to a particular place for a period of time, live in that place, then eat, sleep, and breathe music. Camps can be different lengths, a single day or weekend, a week or so, scheduled around a holiday like New Year's or spring break, or even months long, usually during the summer when school's out. Music camp expands an artist's horizons. You meet other artists doing what it is you're doing. And often those artists are the best and brightest from all over. It is the perfect intensive environment for tremendous artistic growth quickly. This is why it is such an integral part of the classical musician's mastery process. And 4, conservatory. Think of conservatory as music camp on steroids, or trade school for musicians. A conservatory is a specialized college or university for music study. There are famous ones you've probably heard of. Juilliard in New York is a conservatory. Curtis in Philadelphia is a conservatory. Eastman in Rochester, my alma mater, is a conservatory. A conservatory specializes in and offers music instruction only, nothing else. No math, no chemistry, no political science classes. You're going to be studying music and that's all. So, if for whatever reason the music career doesn't work out, your master's degree from conservatory isn't going to be worth much. But if you're certain music performance is the career path you want to take, there is no better place to master your instrument than conservatory. But life is going to be difficult, trust me. As I can recall, a typical day at conservatory for me might have been 8 a.m. music theory class, 9:05 ear training. By 10:15, I'm in a practice room with my viola till lunch. After lunch, orchestra rehearsal for at least 2 hours. 3:30 p.m., I'm in a practice room with my viola till dinner. After dinner, chamber music rehearsal for another couple of hours. And after chamber music, back to the practice room till closing time at 11 p.m. I remember many of us students would play a game. Where in the music building could we hide where it would take the longest time for the security guard to find us to kick us out? I would usually get an extra 15, 20 minutes of practice time doing that. Then it was back to the dorm to do homework, forgot about that, then bedtime, just to wake up the next morning and do it all over again. So it's a commitment to go to conservatory, just like the commitment to master an instrument.